So, let's talk about Ethiopia. This isn't just any country, it's a place with a history that goes back millennia and is home to over 126 million people, making it the second most populous nation in Africa. Imagine a country that's like a massive, bustling family reunion, but all the time. With so many people, especially a lot of young, ambitious individuals, creating enough jobs and opportunities isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely essential. It's like hosting a party and realizing you need way more chairs, snacks, and a bigger sound system than you originally planned. For Ethiopia, national development is that bigger plan. It's about building a future where everyone has a seat at the table. The government in Addis Ababa knows this, and they've decided to go big. They're not just aiming for a little bit of growth here and there, they're shooting for the moon. The vision is to transform Ethiopia into an African icon of prosperity by 2030. That's a bold statement. It's the national equivalent of telling your friends you're going to win the marathon, learn to speak 3 new languages, and perfect the art of baking sourdough bread, all by next Tuesday. This ambition is about creating a stable, thriving economy that can support its massive population and stand tall on the global stage. It's a complete reinvention, moving away from old models and sprinting towards a brighter, more modern future. This journey is crucial because for a long time, Ethiopia's economy has faced some serious headwinds. Think of it like trying to drive a car with one flat tire and the fuel light blinking angrily. At the start of 2024, the country was dealing with high inflation, which basically means your money buys you less and less each day. It's like your wallet is on a diet you didn't approve. On top of that, there was a serious shortage of foreign currency, which is the money you need to buy things from other countries. This makes it incredibly difficult for businesses to import machinery, for the country to pay its debts, and for the economy to grow as it should. So, the push for development is a story of necessity meeting ambition. It's about fixing the engine while the car is still moving, and even trying to speed up. The goal is to build a nation that is economically strong, socially inclusive, and resilient enough to handle whatever challenges come its way. It's about turning that massive population from a challenge into the country's greatest asset. By creating a dynamic and open economy, Ethiopia hopes to unlock the immense potential of its people and write a new chapter in its long and storied history. One defined not just by its ancient past, but by a prosperous and promising future for all its citizens. To make this grand vision a reality, the Ethiopian government launched a master plan called the Homegrown Economic Reform Agenda. This isn't just a catchy name, it's a fundamental shift in how the country's economy works. The main idea is to move away from a system where the government controls almost everything, and instead let the private sector take the lead. It's like the government has been the only chef in the kitchen for years, and now they're opening the doors to other talented cooks to come in and create their own dishes. This means privatizing some of the big state-owned companies and opening up key sectors like telecommunications and banking to new players and fresh investment. A big part of this strategy involves making friends in high places, and Ethiopia has been busy on the diplomatic scene. One of its most important partners is the International Monetary Fund, or the IMF. Think of the IMF as a very strict but very knowledgeable financial advisor. In July 2024, the IMF approved a massive $3.4 billion loan to help Ethiopia stabilize its economy. But this money comes with conditions. It's not a free-for-all. The IMF wants to see Ethiopia get its financial house in order by controlling its debt, taming inflation, and creating a more predictable environment for businesses. It's tough love, but it's aimed at building a stronger foundation for long-term growth. But Ethiopia isn't putting all its eggs in one basket. In a very interesting move, the country officially joined the BRICS group in January 2024. BRICS, which includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, is like another club of powerful friends, but with a different vibe. This partnership gives Ethiopia access to new sources of funding, like the New Development Bank, which might not have the same strict conditions as the IMF. It's also a way to boost trade with some of the world's fastest growing economies, and even trade using local currencies instead of relying so much on the US dollar. It's a savvy move, like having two different coaches with two different playbooks. These partnerships are designed to fuel specific goals. For the 2024 to 2025 fiscal year, the government set an ambitious economic growth target of 8.4%, a figure many developed countries can only dream of. The plan is to pour investment into key areas. They're looking to modernize agriculture, which is the backbone of the economy, build up manufacturing in industrial parks, and expand the mining sector. Through its BRICS membership, Ethiopia is already planning projects worth billions in renewable energy and transport, which are expected to create tens of thousands of much-needed jobs. It's a multi-pronged attack on economic stagnation, using both Western and Eastern support to build a new path forward. Now, as anyone who has ever tried to assemble IKEA furniture knows, having a plan and a set of tools doesn't mean the job will be easy. Ethiopia's path to prosperity is filled with some serious obstacles. One of the biggest and most heartbreaking challenges has been political instability and internal conflict. The recent violence in regions like Tigray, Amhara, and Oromia has not only caused immense human suffering, but has also thrown a massive spanner in the works of economic progress. When there's conflict, businesses can't operate, supply chains are broken, and investors get very, very nervous. It's hard to build a skyscraper when the ground beneath you is shaking. Another major hurdle is the maze of bureaucracy and the shadow of corruption. Imagine trying to start a new business, but every step requires a mountain of paperwork, a dozen different stamps, and a whole lot of waiting for approval. This kind of red tape can strangle a business before it even gets off the ground. A September 2025 report from the US government highlighted that despite the reforms, these bureaucratic bottlenecks and a weak rule of law remain significant problems. For foreign investors who bring in the money and expertise Ethiopia needs, these issues can be a major deal breaker. They want to see a clear, fair, and transparent system, not a confusing and frustrating obstacle course. Then there's the persistent headache of the foreign currency shortage. As we touched on, this is a huge problem. Businesses in Ethiopia need foreign currency, mostly US dollars, to import raw materials, technology, and equipment. When there isn't enough to go around, factories can't produce at full capacity, and expansion plans are put on hold. It also makes it nearly impossible for foreign companies to send their profits back home, which, you can imagine, doesn't make them very happy. The National Bank of Ethiopia is working hard to fix this, but it's a stubborn problem that continues to put a damper on the investment climate and slow down the pace of economic recovery. Finally, even with the best intentions, implementing reforms takes time and can be a bumpy ride. The process of privatizing massive state-owned enterprises is complex and has been slower than hoped. While there have been successes, like the entry of Safaricom into the telecoms market, other sectors are still waiting for the promised liberalization to fully materialize. Building the infrastructure needed to support a modern economy, reliable roads, consistent electricity, and widespread internet access is a monumental task. These challenges are a stark reminder that transforming a nation's economy is a marathon, not a sprint, and there are many miles left to run on this steep and difficult climb. So, after looking at the ambitious plans and the sobering challenges, what does the future hold for Ethiopia? If, and it's a big if, the country can successfully navigate these turbulent waters, the potential is truly immense. Imagine a future where the homegrown economic reform agenda really takes root. A future where the private sector is flourishing, creating a diverse and dynamic economy. New businesses, both local and international, could be setting up shop in thriving industrial parks, powered by renewable energy from new green projects. This would generate millions of jobs for Ethiopia's young and growing population, turning a demographic challenge into an economic powerhouse. In this optimistic scenario, The strategic partnerships with both the IMF and BRICS pay off brilliantly. The support from the IMF helps create a stable and predictable macroeconomic environment, which builds trust and attracts long-term, high-quality investment from around the world. At the same time, its membership in BRICS unlocks new avenues for trade, infrastructure financing, and technological collaboration. Ethiopia could find itself at a unique crossroads of global finance and development, able to draw on the best of what different partners have to offer. This could lead to a future where modern infrastructure connects the country, and Ethiopian goods find their way to markets across the globe. A successful reform path would also mean a significant boost for key sectors. Agriculture could become more productive and resilient, not just feeding the nation, but also becoming a major export industry. The manufacturing sector could expand, producing everything from textiles to electronics, and the newly liberalized telecommunications and financial sectors could unleash a wave of innovation, bringing digital services and financial inclusion to millions of people for the first time. This economic transformation would lift countless citizens out of poverty and create a growing middle class with the purchasing power to drive the economy forward from within. Of course, this bright future is not guaranteed. It depends entirely on sustained commitment to reform, finding lasting peace, and tackling corruption head-on. The road ahead will undoubtedly have more twists and turns, but the vision is clear, and the first bold steps have been taken. If Ethiopia can maintain its momentum, build on its partnerships, and overcome its internal divisions, it has a genuine chance of achieving its audacious goal. The dream of becoming an African icon of prosperity might just move from a hopeful slogan to a tangible reality, creating a powerful and inspiring story of transformation for the entire continent to see.